Hey guys, it's Cool. Welcome to another movie review. I'm recording this intro after finishing my voiceover because I completely forgot to record an intro. 2023 was a fantastic year for video game movies. We got the Tetris movie. Seriously, did anyone even watch this movie? The Super Mario Bros. Movie, which deserves an Academy Award.
Yeah, well, your dad's right!
And the subject of today's video, the Nights At Freddy's movie. I've been meaning to make a review on the FNAF movie since the movie came out, but since the franchise has gotten its 10th anniversary recently, I figured it's the perfect time to review this movie. But before starting, just like the Mario movie, this movie was slammed with bad reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. Seriously, this movie got a worse rating than the freaking FNAF ripoff movies. For example, here's the critic reviews for Willy's Wonderland. And here's the critic reviews for a FNAF movie. Seriously, what is it with critics hating video game movies? They hated the Mario movie when it came out, and they hated this movie. But I guess those critics didn't matter, because this became the highest grossed horror movie of 2023. Seriously, it beat the 10th Saw movie. Anyways, this movie released on October 27th, 2023. Not only a day before SMG4's War of the Fat Italians 2023, but also the same day as Under the Boardwalk. But anyways, enough stalling, let's finally begin the review. The movie opens up with a Universal logo opening, and I really like that they add this little glitchy effect to the opening. And then we cut to this night guard trying to escape the funny animatronics that are a bit quirky at night. He of course fails, and then gets trapped in what's basically a more scary version of the Scream Extractor from Monsters Inc. We then get this really cool 16-bit opening credits, which I do really like, but why didn't they make it 8-bit like the mini games in the FNAF games? So now we're introduced to our main character, Mike Schmidt, who is played by the one and only Josh Hutcherson. And as we can see for the next few minutes, Mike is a bit of a loser. His younger sister Abby doesn't respect him, and I guess everyone just hates him for no reason. We then get a cameo from the goddamn Rainbow, and then Mike punches the crap out of someone in broad daylight. We are then introduced to the star of the show, Steve Railgun, played by none other than Matthew Lillard, aka Shaggy.
Check out my pecs, little man!
It turns out that Mike can't keep a job, so Stevie over here offers him a job at Frederick Frickbear's Pizza Crap. And then we are greeted to the best joke in any media ever.
And you only have to worry about one thing, keeping people out. And keep the place tidy.
That's two things.
Make sure to remember it. We then get a dream sequence, which is also a flashback to Mike's childhood, which I guess is only here for childhood trauma, I guess. And then we are introduced to the worst character in this movie, Aunt Jane. I think I speak for all the FNAF movie fans to say that I hate Aunt Jane. The only reason I tolerate her in this movie is because any scene that she's in, the best character in this movie is in it. And that is Doug. So to look good in front of the judge, Mike decides to take up Stevie Boy's offer at working at Frederick Frickbear's. Steven then gives Mike some backstory about this place because I guess the children watching this PG-13 horror movie needs to know the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's. We then get a replacement for Phone Guy, this employee training VHS. And to be honest, this isn't important whatsoever. Why did they put this in the movie instead of this?
Hello? Hello? I wanted to record a message for you.
We then get the only thing that made me jump in theaters, and then just nothing happens for the rest of night one. We then get the same trauma again, except now there are children here. I'm guessing they're supposed to be the souls of the dead kids inside the animatronics, but I don't know, this is coming from the same franchise with this line in it.
What was that?
That is a fountain. A fountain is a decorative reservoir used for discharging water.
But anyways, that's night one done, and then we get the greatest cameo in any movie ever.
Some people say that, but it's just a theory.
And I just find it hilarious that this is MatPat's last big role before retiring from YouTube. They then talk about some illegal stuff, but I don't care about that. I just only care about Doug. But anyways, time for night two. We then get the trauma scene for the third time. Seriously, how many times are they gonna play this one scene? And then we're introduced to Vanessa. No, not Vanessa from Security Breach. Totally different character. And now we finally get to see the boys that we've been waiting 30 minutes for. And that's basically it on night two. Wow, we're speed running through this movie. But now it's time for a robbery. While I let the scene play out, I just want to say that this movie gave Chica's Cupcake his canonical name. You want to guess what it is? Okay, I'll give you a few minutes to guess. No, you're wrong, it's Carl. So anyways, all the thugs get killed by animatronics, and then we get this glorious scene.
Was that the bite of 87?
Vanessa then meets Mike at his house. Seriously, is Vanessa some kind of stalker or something? They then had some heart-to-heart moment, which, to be honest, is really boring. Seriously, this scene goes on for over 3 minutes and nothing happens. Anyways, time for night 3. Mike brings Abby for some reason. I don't really know why. We then get another jump scare, and then trauma time again! And then it's revealed that Abby's imaginary friends are actually the dead children. And by the way, something that really makes me question things is that Mike is like 20, and then Abby is like 7. But then Abby is supposed to be Mike's sister. And that's it of night 3. Jesus, this movie is going by quickly. Mike then tries to gaslight Abby into asking her friends about Garrett. Oh yeah, I should probably say the trauma is about Mike trying to figure out who took Garrett. And now it's time for night 4. Vanessa does a funny meme frame, and then they just make a fort for no reason. Wow, such a great horror movie. Seriously, this is supposed to be a horror movie, and to be honest, nothing scary has happened other than the Balloon Boy jump scare. Yeah, I understand that this is PG-13, so it's gotta be good for the kids. But seriously, this is supposed to be a horror movie, not a comedy. So this makes me question, how did this beat Saw X for Best Horror Movie of 2023? Seriously, if I asked you what would you rather watch, the 10th movie in the best horror franchise ever, or Scary Bear movie, what would you watch? We get some fun facts about Springlocks. God, I wonder if they're gonna show up later in the movie. And then Abby dies. Okay, but not actually, but God, I really dislike Abby in this movie, so I really prefer if she died here. And then for some reason, Vanessa says if Mike ever brings Abby back here, she will kill him. Like, I'm not joking, that's in the movie. And then Mike just gives Abby to Aunt Jane for some reason. I honestly have no idea why he does this. But now it's time for the 5th and final night. Mike goes back to Trauma Land, and the dead kids make a deal with him. Mike will stay here forever with Garrett if the dead kids have Abby. And of course, Mike just says yes. 10 out of 10 brother right here. The dead kids then beat up Mike for no reason at all. And now Mike is in the machine from the beginning of the movie. Wow, that is actually good foreshadowing. But of course, Mike escapes death. And then the dead kids actually kill Aunt Jane. Seriously, thank God! We then get our second and last YouTuber cameo, Coryxkenshin.
Why do I always get the weirdo?
But seriously, out of any FNAF YouTuber they could have picked a cameo in this movie, only MadPat and Coryxkenshin? I understand that Markiplier couldn't do it because of Iron Lung, but why not someone like 8-Bit Ryan or Dawko? But no, you didn't choose any of them, you chose Coryxkenshin. This dude hasn't even uploaded a video in a year. But hey, Vanessa saves Mike because plot, I guess. And Vanessa finally tells Mike what happened to all the children. They're all murdered by the man behind the slaughter.
His name is William Afton. He's my father.
Okay, I understand that they kept this plot twist for the last 20 minutes of the movie, but seriously, a plot twist like that? Vanessa could have told Mike any time about this, but she chooses the last possible moment, and this means that the movie just doesn't follow the game's lore. Mike, Abby, and Garrett are supposed to be William's family, but no, I guess it's Vanessa now. And another thing, why the hell did they change Elizabeth and Evan's names in this movie to Abby and Garrett? Do they want this movie to take place in an alternate timeline? Does this movie even exist in the game's lore? Tell me! I'm sorry, I got a little angry there, but this movie just doesn't follow the timeline of the franchise. So the only way to take out the animatronics is electricity, I guess. So Mike drives to Frederick's in order to save Abby. And Abby just actually almost gets spring-locked. Seriously, if I had a nickel for every time Abby cheated death in this movie, I had 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's funny it's happened twice. So Mike saves Abby, but it's not over yet. Abby has to hide from Foxy while Mike deals with Carl. We get a reference to Into the Pit, and then we get the greatest villain introduction ever. So Vanessa saves Abby, and then Mike is just actually getting beat up by the yellow rabbit. And then we get a great set of lines.
This is perfect. First I killed your brother. Now I kill you. Symmetry, my friend.
So it turns out that William Afton is actually Stevie Wonder. Big surprise! And then Vanessa just actually shoots her dad. Like, why does she do this? And then something from the beginning of the movie comes back.
You had one job. One. Keep him in the dark and kill him if he got too close.
That's 2 jobs.
And that's the reason why I said remember that joke. I just love how this joke comes back at the climax of the movie. Willie then just actually kills his daughter. Like, I know that Vanessa isn't actually dead since it's confirmed that she will come back in the sequel, but why does he do this? Abby then reminds the dead kids of what Willie did to them, and then they just all gang up on Willie. Yes, I'm calling him Willie instead of William because I think it's funny. Carl then bites Willie, which triggers the spring locks, and then Willie says his iconic line.
I always come back.
He said it. He said it.
So Willie is just dying and no one seems to care. And then we just cut to the next day, or the next week, or the next month. I don't know, they don't tell us when this next scene takes place. So everyone gets their good ending. Mike figured out who took Garrett, Abby has friends now, and Vanessa is just quote-unquote dead. We get one final shot of Willie dying, and just like that, the movie ends. Okay, I have to talk about them having the FNAF 1 song for the credits. I think it's amazing they have the song for the credits, because it's just so iconic to the franchise. But of course, we have a post-credit scene because we need more Coryxkenshin. And we have our third and final baby jump scare. We also get a remix of the music box scene for FNAF 2, which I think is really great and could be a really good teaser for the sequel. And in FNAF 2 fashion, we have a little thing spelling out a sentence, like in the FNAF 2 Death Mini games. Just to make sure you don't look it up, it saved them. And that was the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. And what did I think about it? Well, as a video game movie, it's really good. But as a horror movie, it's not that perfect. They could have made it a bit more scary. Like, you have a PG-13 rating. Why didn't you use it a bit more? The Easter eggs and references, I mean, they're noticeable. It's not like the Mario movie where I have a bunch of references, but I feel like they could have had a bit more Easter eggs and references. The YouTuber cameos were alright, but seriously, only MadPat and Coryxkenshin? I understand that they couldn't get Markiplier, but why didn't they get anyone else? I mean, take Free Guy for example. That movie had cameos from a bunch of streamers. This movie, you got Game Theory and Cory. That's it. The story, well, it's fine, but it feels like FNAF 1 in terms of story. You got a night guard, and goes 5 nights at Pizzeria without getting killed by animatronics. That's really it. The villain being Stevie Boy / the Yellow Rabbit / William Afton. I mean, he was really good, but I feel like they could have used him in the movie a lot more. I mean, he shows up once in the beginning of the movie, and once at the end of the movie as the villain. That's really it. Seriously, you couldn't get any more scenes for Shaggy, but that's all I have to say about this movie. For a rating, I think I'll give the FNAF movie an 8 out of 10. It's a great video game movie, not a great horror movie, and the story is meh, but overall, it's a really good movie. So that was my review on the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I hope you all enjoyed this, and it was worth the wait. I agree that this video could have been longer, but I have a problem with the reviews being way too short for me. So, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you next video. Bye-bye!